Hey guys, how is everyone? We're going to get into a build here today. I'm going to try to show bits and pieces of it and kind of take you guys along. Big box 10 series parts. I think I've shown it before on some of the videos where I was out in the shed, but if not, that's what we've got. Two different engines in there. There's a 700 engine. That's kind of what I'm wanting to go with here. And then there's a old school 1010 engine, one that would have come out of a Mack 1010 with the points. I think that was actually a good running engine that came out of the saw that we put the 1010S piston and cylinder set up in. But video on that on the channel as well if you want to check it out. But I kind of wanted to put together another like hot saw looking kind of deal. Who knows if it'll run like one, but we're gonna give it our best, I guess. But it'll basically be a 700 engine. It is a thin ringulator model engine with a old school Mack 1010 tank set up. I know I don't have a good air filter lid or air filter brackets, so we'll try to figure something out there. It'll probably be a velocity stack kind of deal, and then, you know, order us up a K&N filter to go on it or something. But that's kind of what we're getting in here today. Once I get some stuff situated out and figure out what we're going to do exactly, I'll bring you guys back then. Alright guys, we're back. I went the 700 cylinder. It was salvageable, you know. I don't know if I mentioned, I know I showed this in an earlier video, but someone had already been grinding on the exhaust port and the intake when I got it. But, you know, we were able to straighten it up and get it looking pretty nice. I had to widen the exhaust port to the max to correct and fix what they had done, but, you know, it's okay. I was able to blend in the roof, the transfer ports. They are cut very, very thin. I honestly thought I'd cut through down to where the transfers originally started, just to get that slope and get everything in right, but we didn't. These older cylinders are a lot thicker than the newer stuff. Let's see, intake port, ain't much to look at there. I didn't widen that any at all. That intake port is just that big and wide from the get-go. What I did do is put a little slope on the roof of it. You can kind of see it, and kind of sloped inward on the sides of the entrance of the port, if that makes any sense. I guess you can kind of see it, but floor of it, there's originally like a little ring. Someone had already tried grinding that out, but I had to fix it and blend everything back in. I chose to, this piston came out of another 700 I'd done, and kind of screwed up cylinder on. We'll just keep that for what it is, or just leave it, it is what it is. But I had to take my notch just a little bit further to hit the timing, and if you're doing that, you know, I recommend just doing like that half moon. It's just me, it just seemed to always work better, and, you know, we've shown that there's production OEM saws that come that way, but timing on it should be really good. It should still retain most of the torque it ever would have had. You know, case-fed transfers, there's a lot of stuff, ups and downs with that, you know, a lot of opinions on it, but opinions vary. This ain't no work saw anyway, it's just something to play with. But all I've got left to do now is this thing pretty clean, but I'm going to go back over it and, you know, get all the correct bolts out. And I have honed it. It is a chrome plated cylinder. You can hone them, just go super slow. I like to just put some fuel and mix on the hone. I use a ball hone. Doesn't hurt a thing. Actually left pretty nice crosshatch in it. So yeah, I'll show you more once I've got a little more to show, I guess. Alright guys, we're making a little progress. I had one look like about a new intake gasket and had to make another one. Got our tank assembly on. I've got to do a little work to the carb. It's kind of what I worked on this evening, was the muffler. Not quite what I wanted to do, but I don't think there'll be any real restrictions with it either for what we're doing with the saw. It'll do really well. I guess I'll bring you guys back when I've got something else to show. We're making some progress on this, guys. Flywheel on, I've got quite a bit of advance thrown at it. It's, you know, with our electronic ignition saw. Got her clutch on. I really wish I had an 8-pin to fit it, but I don't. I'll have to order one. Now I've got to wind up the coil spring and get this starter housing together, and then I will lock the handlebar, and then I'm gonna save the carb box stuff for last. It's that simple, guys. Stop putting screws in your desks and just doing this crazy stuff you don't have to do. Just wind the spring up and put it in. It's that simple. I was taught this back when teachers actually gave a damn and, you know, showed you how to do things the proper way. As of right now, I'm gonna call that a win, and my God, if that sucker's not loud. What I done is just made a velocity stack, and I put an L bracket and bolted it in the bottom of this tank, and then just run a big self-tapping screw through into the L bracket, and you know it's gonna hold our cover on. But as far as the air filter, I don't know, I may measure that thing and see if we can pick up a K&N or K&N knockoff or something to go on it. That'll help with the cover and sealing up that air box area, but kind of wanting to just run it open. You know, it was kind of a race saw kind of deal. You have to prime it to start it. I've got the whole choke mechanism took out of the carb, and the holes for the choke rod JB welded off. She is snappy, really damn snappy, like the snappiest Mac I've ever had in my hands. I really didn't feel it was possible to get one with that kind of throttle response just instant as soon as you hit it, but I've got quite a bit of timing thrown at it. You know, the transfers are case fed, and that helps with throttle response. Contrary to what some people say, but you know, it is what it is. People can do their own damn thing. I think she's gonna be a ripper. I wish I'd have had an 8-pin to go on it, but we don't. I'm gonna short bar it. I'm gonna go get a bar and chain, pull a sprocket cover, a clutch cover off of another saw, and there probably ain't enough room on this little piece of wood I've got. It's the same one that we run the 351 and some of the other saws in, and you know, see what we can do with it and how it's gonna stack up. I've got the high jet still tuned kind of fat because I've done a hone on the cylinder, and you know, it does need to seat back in. I did use the used cylinder and used rings, but you know, the rings come out of another saw, but they were low hour. They probably had 2 cords of wood on them. OEM, you know, 700 rings, or McCulloch rings, but with that said, that's what I'm going to do next. Hopefully the next thing you guys see is some test cuts. I don't think I'm going to suck no chips down into that. Technically cutting cookies, they should blow down, but you know, you never know. It could suck some down in it and wreck our build, but we'll just have to see. Let's hope not anyway. Well, guys, again, I'm going to call that a win. We have taken a big box of junk and put together one badass saw. That's the baddest damn Mac I've ever ran, hands down. And, you know, you guys know the story, how many of them I have here. I've ported a bunch of 1010s. I had ported 700 here for a while. That's where, honestly, where the piston and the bottom end from this came out of. It was just kind of mildly ported. This one's just kind of on a whole different level. Yeah, she is a freaking beast. Just god awful loud, but it is a blast to run. And take note, in any of those cuts, it was not oiling at all. I didn't realize it. I got in here, it's still that torquey that I didn't notice how hot the chain had got, and it almost stuck. It was all I could do to move it when I came in. Hell, it's still pretty dang tight, and I do not put chains on that tight. So, you know, we'll get the oiler going. She's gonna get even faster, but I've got to go get some test logs tomorrow. I have nothing here. It is what it is, and you know, that's kind of my goal here with this channel. We like to just get old junk and bring it back to life. But with that said, probably will end up painting the saw. It looks pretty rough. I've got to get that insert to go on the handle. I'll probably end up measuring this and getting us a K&N air filter or K&N knockoff or something and put on it. And I've got to get it its own clutch cover. But other than that, and fixing the oiler, I'd say this one's a done deal. I do have thoughts of actually even putting an expansion chamber on it. Right now, you know, I shown earlier, it's just basically a straight header right out of the exhaust pipe, but I'll tell you, she seems to really, really like it. I would have expected it to lost a bunch of bottom end grunt by doing that, but it's kind of the opposite, I guess. This thing freaking rips. But with that said, I'm gonna quit running my mouth. We'll bring this back at a later date, and you know, once we get some logs here and get the oiler addressed, and maybe see how it stacks up compared to some of these other saws. But I've kind of got an idea myself. It's gonna take something in the 75 cc class and one of my more modern saws to run with it, I think. But with that said, as always, thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a good one.